My name is Scott Kjos, and you spell my last name Kjos. And this is
Pastor Joe, Samuel Joe.
All right.
And he's from Monrovia, Liberia.
I'm from Liberia, West Africa.
And I'm from Portland, Oregon.
And we are sitting by the fireplace in Gardena, California.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how many years back did you guys? Let's get started on this story.
Okay.
Let's finally put it out there.
Well, you said we met back in '98, correct?
Yeah, 98, right.
'98. So what's that? That's 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah, 14 years. Yeah. And at that time, I was running a high school. I guess I did it long after that too. But I ran a high school dropout recovery program for LA Unified School District, and we were located on an elementary school campus. And in the front of it, and it was kind of a little series of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And one afternoon, I walked outside my office, which is in the front of the school.
Yeah.
And Pastor Joe was just passing by, but he walked up, and I can't remember why you walked up. Do you remember?
Yeah. I walked out. Actually, what happened was that I heard people were saying the alphabet. They were saying A B C D, A B C D. So I kind of curious, want to know what's going on there, and I looked through the fence. But those that were saying the ABC, there was so others.
Right. That's right. We had an adult, an ESL class. That's what was going on. Okay.
So I was curious because I said, but back home, people that can say ABC are kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then why these guys are saying, why the BB guys are saying ABC? So I want to know what's actually happening.
Yeah. Why are adult men and women saying
say ABC at this age?
Yeah.
So I was curious, So without asking no permission, I just started to go in, and I had met Scott. So he explained to me. I said, "Oh, but then we said, okay, then wait for me. I'm coming back." At that time, he was going towards his car, so he told me, "So, I'm coming back. Just wait for me, so I can get some details." So I said, "Okay." Then he came back. Now he called me in the office and wanted to know where I'm coming from, what I'm doing there, who I'm living with, how I come to the States. So I explained that I came to a conference in Tennessee, and he wanted to know whether it was true. So he had to call Tennessee and to make sure.
About what time was this?
That was not the first day.
Well,
That was the second day.
Yeah,
that was some time ago.
Oh, so you guys met again the next day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there now.
Yeah, from my perspective, he's a strange man walking on campus, and I say, "Can I help you?" And I remember that.
Yeah.
And as soon as he opens his mouth, I know, okay, well this guy ain't from the projects. So I say, "Where are you from?" And then we get to talking a little bit, and he tells me his story.
Yeah.
He'd come out to LA, and basically, without naming names, he'd gotten into a pretty miserable living situation, temporary. And so I thought, well, gosh, I can't leave. This is a pastor of a church, and he's in a horrible living situation. Can't leave him there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to basically verify who he was and all that kind of stuff. And then we asked him to come in and move in with my church, with Church of the Servant King. Come on, move in with us for a while. Let's get you out of that situation.
Right. From there, he brought me in to see the church members and introduced me to the church members, and then how he moved me in the same year, the same time. So I was living with them, and I went back 1998. I went back. So when I started coming back, anytime I just stop over and live here and live with them most of the time.
Right. And then a few years later, we had a lady who was around our church who had a ministry called Angel's Flight. I think
Angel Haven.
What?
Angel Haven Outreach.
Yeah, Angel Haven Outreach. Anyway, where they bring children from primarily it was from Russia, adoptees into the United States. But that market, I hate to say it, but it was kind of getting difficult to bring kids out. And then so Sherry got to know Pastor Joe, and they worked out a way where the children from Monrovia after the Civil War, there's thousands and thousands of orphans.
Mm-hmm.
And so they arranged where Pastor Joe could then start escorting.
Yeah, the kids.
Yeah, but you can talk about that a little bit.
So I started to work out with people work there, establish the program in Liberia, get a license, go to government and all of that. So I used to investigate children with the government, and then finalize whatever it is. Then I escort the children in the United States. So when I escort them, I just leave. I just can't go anywhere. I just stay right here after we get the kids. I just stay right here and then finish my time and go back. Yeah. So that's how we've been doing it over years now, over 15 years now, 14 years. Yeah. Yeah.
And a number of years ago, which is strange, before we even knew about the water crisis, I remember Joe talking about the church was trying to rebuild his house, and he personally and his wife were hurting financially, like isn't everyone in Monrovia. So Joe and I call him Joe instead of Pastor, we came up with some crazy ideas of how to make money. Remember that? We were gonna send we sent over to Monrovia a chainsaw and with hairspray, because his wife Regina sells
with some clothes. I mean, with some shoes.
Yeah. And that didn't work. Yeah. But we are always coming up with crazy ideas trying to help him make money. But one of the things we did do was he mentioned that water was a problem in the town, and particularly for people in the church.
Right.
And so we funded a well on his property, or at least we helped fund a well. This is years and years ago, before we ever even thought of the world's water crisis, which is interesting. It comes full circle.
Right. What happened was when I was here, 2011, which is last year, I had a conversation with some friends about the water problem in Liberia. And so one of them said, oh, I had a friend who also got a friend in Arizona that can fund well somewhere in Accra, Ghana. So I said, okay, but I did not see him personally, actually. I didn't see him. But then she said, okay, I will contact him, and then I will give your number and your email to him, and then you guys can start from there. And so he sent my email and my telephone number to him, and then he emailed me, and then sent his number, and I called him back and explained to him how things are going, and he was very much interested. That's how he and myself connected. Scott Former, which is the founder of the Water for the World. Then later on, and then we communicated, and I decided to. Then he asked me, "Oh, who are you living with in California? How you get in California, and who can I contact on your behalf?" So I just decided to send Pastor Rich, and Scott number, and then so that they can know, me and from him. And so he said, okay. Then he contacted Rick, and then he and Rick talked. And then when I left, he was able to send money so that I can be able to construct a new well that we just constructed on the church campus. I mean, on the church property. So the well is there now. So we have a new well now from him.
Great.
So this is going on. I didn't even know actually the particulars of this, even as we were speaking now.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, a few months ago, we get word of Pastor Joe getting hooked in with this Water for Our World, and we're flabbergasted. We can't believe it that he's being brought out to Water for Our World conference for this big yearly thing called Banquet for Champions, and they're flying Pastor Joe out to raise funds. They had famous people there and all that kind of stuff, and we had no idea this was going on. So since a couple months ago, we have decided to push all of our efforts into the organization Water for Our World, because they are helping Pastor Joe in Monrovia clean the water and bring water to his area. And we're connected. I mean, we've been family for 15 years. So maybe God is doing something. We suspect, because this is pretty cool how this is coming about.
Great. Thanks, guys.